It was supposed to be the safest time of the year. Christmas lights were up. Families were shopping. Schools were closing for winter break. But behind the holiday cheer, police were quietly running an operation with a disturbing name, Operation Bad Santa. Because while parents were busy preparing gifts, a group of grown men were doing something far darker. This story doesn't begin in a dark alley, it begins online. It started with simple messages, friendly, casual, a profile that looked like a teenager, a few emojis, a few innocent questions. What are you doing tonight? Are your parents home? Do you want to hang out? The men on the other side believed they were talking to minors, some as young as 13. What they didn't know was that every message was being watched. Undercover officers from multiple agencies had spent weeks setting up fake profiles. They posed as underage boys and girls on popular social media apps. They waited, and they didn't have to wait long. The messages quickly changed. Compliments turned into requests. Requests turned into explicit plans. Some men sent photos. Others sent instructions. A few even tried to reassure the child that everything would be okay. That's when police knew this wasn't just disturbing. It was criminal. One by one, the men agreed to meet. They chose public places, parking lots, restaurants, areas decorated for the holidays. To them, it felt safe. To police, it was the final step. When the suspects arrived, they weren't greeted by a teenager. They were greeted by officers. Hands up. You're under arrest. By the end of the sting, 12 men were taken into custody. What shocked investigators wasn't just the number. It was who these men were. Among those arrested were people trusted by the community. A teacher, a youth program coordinator, men who worked with children every day. People parents would never suspect. Police later said some suspects even asked, "Is this a joke?" Others went silent. A few tried to explain, but there was no explaining the evidence. Messages were saved. Photos were logged. Meeting times were recorded. Everything was documented. In press briefings, law enforcement made one thing clear. This operation wasn't about embarrassment. It was about prevention. Because these weren't thoughts. These were actions in progress. Officers said that if the profiles had been real children, the outcome could have been irreversible. For parents in the community, the news hit hard. Schools released statements. Youth organizations began internal reviews. Families questioned how close danger really was. One parent said, "The scariest part is that they didn't look like monsters. They looked normal." That's what makes cases like this so unsettling. These men didn't hide in shadows. They lived normal lives. They had jobs, responsibilities, reputations. And yet, behind screens, they crossed lines they could never uncross. All suspects now face multiple charges, including attempted endangerment of a minor and online solicitation. Some could face years in prison. Investigators also warned that this kind of crime is increasing, not decreasing. Technology makes it easier, and predators adapt quickly. That's why police say awareness is just as important as arrests. They urge parents to monitor online activity, talk openly with children, and take warning signs seriously. Because the internet doesn't show danger the way streets do. This case is a reminder that sometimes the greatest threats don't break into homes. They ask for permission, and sometimes they almost get it. By the end of Operation Bad Santa, officers said one thing stood out to them most. Not a single suspect backed out. They all showed up. If you watch true crime stories like this, remember, these cases aren't just headlines. They're warnings. If you found this story informative, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more deep, real-world, true crime investigations. And tell me in the comments, do you think sting operations like this are enough? Or is there more that needs to be done to protect children online?